Hi everyone, I'm Antonella, and today I'm going to be walking you through the 5 strategies for handling conflict using the Thomas-Kilmann model. Now we need to start with our emotions. Everyone experiences conflicts differently, so it's important to be aware of your triggers and how you handle situations. There are 3 basic ways of expressing your emotions. Mental, that's the way you think and you process the information. Physical, that's how your body reacts to the information. And behavior, how you're going to act towards that information. Let's take an example. You had a stressful day. Mentally, you're probably thinking of a new job, vacation, going with friends. You're basically going to that happy place just to disconnect from that situation. Physically, you can feel anxious. You can feel a headache coming on, aches and pains, sweaty palms. And then behavior, you might actually disconnect by going to the gym or going to a bar and getting a drink or meeting up with friends. Basically, you're just leaving that environment. Now, understanding your emotions is important because it will influence your response. If you have a hard time controlling your emotions and your emotional response, I encourage you to read up on the SCARF method. Now, Thomas-Kilmann model is well depicted in detail in their book. Basically, the conflicts arise when there's disagreements. And then there's 5 ways or strategies that you can handle those conflicts. We're going to do a spin-off by creating decision trees for each of these 5 conflict strategies instead of just defining them. So we're going to start with avoiding. You avoid that the person even exists. So basically, you can't be bothered with engaging with them. Withdrawing from the conflict will irritate the relationship. So keep in mind, if the person has nothing to do with your life and it won't impact it in any way, then avoiding might work. But if the person works for you or you have to deal with them day in, day out, this strategy could only work short term, if you're even lucky. Most of the time, it won't work at all. Accommodating is to give them what they want, just to resolve that conflict. This will work for the first time, but chances are that same person might be using the same tactics in the future just to get their point across and get what they want from you again. So at one point, the strategy won't work and you'll have to put your foot down. Compromising. This is finding a middle ground. You're not getting everything you want in the resolution, but it's more important for you to resolve the situation than have it worsen. So the only deterrent in this strategy is that no one ever really comes out as a winner. Even though the decision seems fair, you may or may not be happy with the outcome. Competing. This is where you set out to win that argument. You force your views onto other people. It's compared to a duel because basically one wins and one loses. It's very black and white as a resolution. So keep in mind that using this strategy may end up having you burn bridges, antagonize people, or even start a feud. It may not be the best approach in some situations. And finally, collaborating. This is where you decide to do that win-win situation. This is where both parties work in partnership to get to a joint solution. So you put your emotional differences aside and you address the situation in a logical manner. For example, brainstorming a solution to the conflict is an effective way of collaborating. You list all possible outcomes, both sides of the argument, and then you decide on the best course of action both parties agree on. In fact, many conflict resolution frameworks come from the collaborating strategy because it tends to be the most favorable approach. For example, crucial conversations, courageous conversations, and CRD, conflict resolution diagram, are some of the more popular frameworks that use the collaborating strategy. Now, what they do have in common is that they actually listen and they understand each side of the stance. They come up with a response, they open the conversation, they keep their emotions in check, and they come to a win-to-win resolution. Now, we hope you found this learning valuable. To find more learning materials, please go to our website.